Oh my gosh. Me? Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
I don't hear anything on the stream.
Yeah, there it is. Okay.
Maybe I should have gone
Okay, there we
live.
go. We should be able to hear us. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but we'll just repeat this. There has been a major earthquake in the
Yeah.
Vanuatu region, and there has been a observed tsunami. Let me just show you that because that's continuously updating. Here, let me get a second.
Yeah, we can hear everyone now. Nice.
Okay, so let me share my screen if I could get that. Okay,
So
there we
there's
go.
been a massive earthquake,
Yeah, so
obviously, in the
this is the
Vanuatu
DART
region.
station in New Zealand, which I think if I pull up the tsunami, I could probably show which station this is. Here this is. I think it's probably this station or it's this station. I don't know, but it has had a rise, an abrupt rise of about zero point 0.6 meters. So there has been a decent tsunami from this
And
quake.
Yeah, there's.
and when that wave impacts the shore, when it reaches a shoreline, it's going to be amplified because the
Yeah, like
shoreline obviously
this
is a
is
lot
open.
shallower.
This is
So
open water.
yeah,
So
so it's going
Yeah.
to be amplified. It's going to be taller than it actually is right now.
and we have
Also
reports of
something.
damage. Like
Yeah,
here
we
is the
have
image of the U.S. embassy in I forgot the name of the port, but it's the capital of
Port
Vanuatu.
Vila.
Yeah, that's you see here that like the first story is almost completely collapsed.
Yeah, it's
Also,
pretty bad.
most
And
of the
also, I like
locals.
to note that there was also a major landslide that happened on the side of the
I
mountain
don't
in
have
that
an
region
image
as
of
well.
that right now. But yeah, so here
Yeah.
let me just refresh in case
I
anything
mean, okay,
updated.
I don't suggest you show it because it could get copyrighted later on.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, so here we go. Yeah, as I said, 7.343 kilometers. It was pretty close to the capital. I'm pretty sure, according to the
And
shake map, it was in the area of MMI 8, which is pretty strong shaking. Easily strong. And it has gone
and
a
I've
yellow pager for both fatalities and economic losses. Read to
Yeah,
it.
it's
Let's look at the
I've
ground
seen
failure.
pictures of all the people near the coast evacuating, so that's pretty good sign if a tsunami. Well, this for when the tsunami does come, it's a good sign that everyone is evacuating.
Yeah, let me just back in. Can you show go? Okay, so here.
So, William, Knife Man, basically the tsunami is at this point hasn't. Wouldn't you say, Randy, that it's already like hit the
Yeah.
coast? It's so close. It's already
I'm
hit the
assuming it's
coast of
hit some
Vanuatu.
islands, but
Yeah, some of the
probably not
islands.
the entire country yet. I'm not sure if it's impacted Port Vila yet, which is the main island and capital area.
Mm-hmm. And obviously, too, aftershocks are a problem.
Okay, I'm looking at.
Haven't
Okay,
seen
there we
any
go.
yet.
So, I think this is an official tsunami measurement. I've been told from others that it might be a calibration of the DART. That was that 0.6. So let me just get my screen back up for an official measurement. So, this is the Port Vila station like water gauge. Looks like it was approximately it was at like negative I would say zero point 0.2 and it went up to around +2, so it's around 0.4 meters or 40 centimeters in height. From that, but there could obviously be more waves, underwater landslide. So I would still evacuate if you're in the area. It looks like at least the first wave of the tsunami was around 40 centimeters tall.
Yeah, that is true. These do come in multiple waves. So, we
And
could
also,
see.
according to the preliminary report from the United States Geological Survey, this earthquake was a oblique earthquake, which means it ruptured vertically and horizontally. So there was vertical movement and lateral movement. And vertical movement usually generates tsunamis easier than lateral movement because you're thinking the seafloor is lifting up. So
Yeah, it's
No, right now I'm trying to get DART information right now. Because that would probably be good to tell if it's going to be a more widespread tsunami.
also too a major risk as well with tsunamis. More locally is landslides that fall into the ocean. because those can cause, like, well, it depends on how big the tsunami is, but it can cause pretty large tsunamis, but they don't really propagate as far as the seismically generated tsunami. So, like, if you're in that region of Vanuatu, I would definitely be staying away from the coast anyways, or I would even say, like, around Fiji as well, because if there's, like, a massive landslide that goes into the water, I'm not really sure about the geography of the island that was nearest to this, but if it has a large enough, like, cliff or mountain that could slide a lot of material into the water, I would make sure to stay away from the coast until further notice.
Yeah, so I am currently reading the tsunami message for non-U.S. British Columbia. One of the products, the Tsunami Warning Center issues, they're predicting the tsunami to enter, and sorry if I butcher this, Espiritu Santo. Vanuatu, I don't know if that's a different island or something, but that's expected around 2:33 UTC, which I think is 9 minutes. Around that, so that's their ETA. So that wave seems like it might have gone there earlier if that's the island where the capital is.
Yeah, it is. I think. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it is. Yeah, that's the island where the capital
So USGS, have they come out with the fake map yet?
is. Yes.
Yeah, it's MMI8 for Port Vila.
Yeah, that's not good.
So obviously that's gonna cause some
Hold
major
up.
issues.
Arctic, this is gonna be the first time y'all are gonna see this in a bit. There's a little bit of an earthquake graphic I created showing different
Hi, David.
moment magnitude index.
Are we live?
Yeah.
Yes, we're
Yes,
live.
we are.
Alright.
And so yeah, MMI.
Is it 8.1?
No.
Yeah,
7.4.
8.1 global quake, but it's a 7.4 according
But
to
for GeoNet, which is New Zealand's seismic laboratory, this is 7.8, I believe. USGS is 7.4 and EMSC is 7.3. So overall, a pretty major earthquake, and it's also pretty shallow, and it was near the capital, so that caused MMI 8 shaking on the capital, which has collapsed some buildings. I'm just giving a recap here. And also, a tsunami has been generated. It's actually hitting islands right now as we speak, but we're not sure the size. We know that there was
Tsunami.
about a 1
How
or
long
2
ago
meter.
did this happen?
This happened
Like 30 minutes
around
ago.
30 minutes ago. It started.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Like 30 or 40. The global quake time was 47. The previous hour. No, like the generation time for the earthquake.
Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. I was just doing some schoolwork. Hold on. We're gonna switch graphics soon. Just keep going live, and then I'll switch the graphics. I'll switch the setup.
Can we do that without stopping the stream right now?
Yeah, you can do that. It's possible.
Yeah, you just take over the stream key.
Yeah, just let me. I'm gonna let you know when that happens. Okay, description. Can anybody do tags meanwhile? Or
I did minimal tags and I made it.
Okay, let me see them.
alright, that's fine.
I had to sign in again. But anyways, yeah. So, also if you're like in a cove area, it's definitely best to get away from
Yeah,
that area,
because
if you yeah.
Those waves, those if you're in a cove or some shallow like bay, then it's just gonna funnel in, and the water has nowhere else to go but up. If it's in a shallow bay, so
Yes.
it's just gonna be significantly higher there than other areas.
Yeah, so the USGS just revised it. It's the same magnitude, but it's 57 kilometers deep now. That doesn't change anything with the tsunami threat, so if it is really that deep, then more than likely it's probably an underwater landslide.
Yeah, that's true. Underwater landslides as well.
If it is that deep, which could be worse because that could generate a more severe, and as I said, the first wave isn't necessarily the last.
HD Michelle says Dart off Auckland just dropped huge. So if that is
Yep,
true,
so-
then that's very concerning.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah, let me just take a quick look. So Auckland, that's like that's the one near. Oh my God, I can't think right now. New Zealand, right? Oh, that one. That one's too far. There's no way the tsunami wave has traveled that far.
Coverage.
It also says it has no data.
Earthquake Central.
So far, we've found some images online. We have seen broken plates, fallen and displaced furniture, but the most significant, we've seen entire like cliffs and landslides falling, and the collapse of the U.S. Embassy building in Port Vila, which is the capital. So obviously, very significant. We're just waiting for some more information, and photos to come in.
Arctic, by the way, on the stream it just shows black.
Okay, yeah, so it did do it. Yeah, it does that sometimes.
God, can we move this on, please? Global quake.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, where did JMA go? Yeah, JMA went with 7.4.
So now we're looking out for aftershocks.
I'm also searching for any videos of tsunamis or any reports of tsunamis.
Yeah.
Because there definitely is one. We're just waiting for information.
All right, I think the stream has switched. Can someone check that for me?
Okay.
But if it has,
Oh, I'll see.
if it has, this is what we're gonna be going on with from now on. I'll be working on the headlines and all that stuff for the coming
It has
minutes.
switched.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at right now is the size Global Quake or the software that we're using is Global Quake. You can see that big circle, that big dark red circle is the big earthquake. It's the major earthquake that happened in Vanuatu. Now, on Global Quake has an 8.1. I believe it's severely overestimated the earthquake.
And it uses a different scale
Looks to be an
calculate
aftershock
it.
going on currently right now.
I don't know what like all the other ones use, but for the GFS is MWW, which is usually what they use for major earthquake.
Yeah, when the earthquake started, I was watching one of the seismographs and it was shaking for like a significant amount of time. And I'm not talking about like residual shaking, I'm talking about like it was still rupturing, kind of shaking that really concerned me. And that usually, and since this, I mean, this is all preliminary, take this with a grain of salt, but when looking at the way that was rupturing and still shaking like that, I'm pretty sure the tsunamis uh, when a rupture is slower, that generates a larger tsunami, especially with this kind of faulting as well.
And I'll just explain this again. This was according to preliminary USGS reports. This is an oblique earthquake, so that means lateral and vertical movement, that means there's shaking vertically and horizontally, and that vertical shaking can produce tsunamis. If you think about it, like the sea, those tectonic plates, one of them is like bending upwards. That's going to create a tsunami. So you never want to see.
And
vertical
I apologize for the silence on my end. I'm just working on the graphics, so excuse that.
Mhm.
Let me look at
Yeah,
some of the live
so-
chat through if we can, if I can at least chat. Yeah, there we go.
So
Okay, so
tight lines.
if someone can give a rundown of what has been going on for the viewers,
So this is an earthquake about 30 to 40 minutes ago has struck Vanuatu, and it was pretty significant with a prelim of 7.3 to 7.8. USGS is going with 7.4, I believe, from the last time I heard.
7.3.
7.3. And this earthquake has damaged some, like the embassy building, right?
The United States Embassy building, the first floor collapsed. So
Yeah,
now
the
the
first
whole
floor.
building is kind of like leaning because the
So it
first
was a
floor is
very
no longer
damaging
there.
quake.
Oh wait, it's the shit.
So it was a very damaging earthquake, and also it's very tsunami-genic. Preliminary reports say this is an oblique style rupture, which means it ruptures horizontally and vertically at the same time. So this pushes up more. So it's kind of like if you raise
Pushing
your
up the
hand in the
seafloor.
water, it pushes up the water above it. Yeah, so that's what is very
I'll go over some
tsunami-genic.
other damage we've seen. We've seen large landslides. We're just getting this. There's large cracks in the roads and ground, and we've seen just what you would see on a usual strong earthquake, like everything, all the furniture knocked over and cracks in the walls.
Yeah, it's very damaging.
But
It's
I would say the
like
worst.
landslide.
I would say the worst damage was to that United States Embassy building with an entire first floor just collapsing out itself. So there's that floor is no
and
longer.
it looks like there's a second tsunami wave
Yeah,
Yeah.
tsunami
Okay.
waves.
coming in right now, and I'm confirming something right now. I'm just looking at it. Okay,
No,
Okay,
note
I'm just
to everyone,
verifying right now.
tsunamis don't come in just one wave. Usually, they come in multiple waves,
Where's saying
And-
not to on this map?
and that's what's happening right now. There are multiple, multiple tsunami waves.
Counting. Where's saying not to in relation to that? Just give me a second. I'm just verifying.
See building. Just
Yeah, it looks like it's catching up on it. This might be really bad.
Yeah. What are you looking at to see the buoy?
I'm looking
data?
at what Magic Man put.
yeah. So for those who are tuning in, we do have a pretty emergency-like stream because we have seen a massive earthquake um, that has struck the islands of Vanuatu. A tsunami warning. I'm not sure if it's officially been issued. I'm still looking at all the preliminary
it has.
data, but
USGS,
tsunamis have been generated, and they are heading towards, I believe, Fiji, and the other island, and towards Vanuatu. We have gone reports, as you're seeing in the headlines, that the U.S. Embassy building has collapsed or partially collapsed. Oh, we have another earthquake. What preliminary magnitude is that? That's 4.8. Preliminary magnitude 4.8.
Mm.
Hmm.
Okay, it seems David is having some internet issues.
No,
So I'll just reiterate what he's saying.
it's not towards me.
I
No.
think I'll wait 10 minutes before I say anything here. Based off that, I'm gonna wait. It just looks too crazy.
Yeah, there's 4.3 in Vanuatu right now. It's an aftershock.
Do expect aftershocks from this because usually large thrust and oblique earthquakes have a lot of aftershocks. So just don't expect aftershocks if you live in Vanuatu.
Um,
And I'd like to say
Let me
this
see the
earthquake
historical.
struck
I'll
the
be right
main
back.
island of
Stand by.
Vanuatu, right next to the capital Port
You're
Vila.
gonna leave
And
at least.
obviously, that's
audio.
definitely not an ideal location for an
Oh,
earthquake.
okay, there you go. So just from the Tsunami Warning Center, here they officially confirmed there has been tsunami waves have been observed, and they're not really forecasting anything, but they have confirmed that tsunami waves between 0.3 to 1 meters above the tide level have been observed and should continue. So that is the first time they're officially putting forecast out for other islands other than the main island. I don't know where Anatom Island is, but they put a forecast out for that one as well. But that time has passed since then.
Also, I'd
any
just like to reiterate, when you see those buoys, that have those water movements and unusual water heights, that's not actually on land yet. That's it heading towards land. And obviously the shore on land is going to be a lot shallower, and that's going to amplify that wave when it eventually reaches land. It already has reached land in Vanuatu on many islands. So just keep in mind when you see that it's going to be taller than 1 meter, if what the buoy is saying.
Yeah,
Because
so
it's going to amplify when it actually reaches shore.
I guess I probably have to wait 10 minutes for this to update.
So yeah, if you're in any of the island regions, please go to higher ground. Probably for the better. Literally, no, it is.
I have seen pictures of people evacuating, so that's a good sign that nobody's wanting to be near the coast right now, because obviously it was a very big earthquake.
Yeah. So there are live traffic cameras actually in Vanuatu too.
El
From what
Reed
you're
is
saying.
reporting that the French consulate has collapsed,
So take that with a grain of salt, though.
or maybe the U.S. Wait, so the building collapsed. Is it the U.S. embassy or was it the French consulate?
The U.S. embassy.
No, it's USMC. You can see the crest on it.
So.
And I think if I'm not crazy,
maybe
the
the
second
French-
tsunami was bigger.
Hold
than
on.
the first one.
So let's get some questions. Monchi is asking if the east coast of New Zealand should get. She's in the north. She's in the east coast of New Zealand. Should she start getting moving? She evacuate? I wouldn't. I mean,
I would give it time. It would take a
Well,
couple
s-
hours if there is a damaging tsunami. But if there, I would listen to local officials.
If
For
you
any
don't get a
official
warning,
action.
just don't evacuate. If you get a warning,
intensity
evacuate.
9. Or is that 8? That's 8.
Yeah, I would always listen to official sources.
yeah. So that should answer your question.
Wow. Okay. So there's whoa. Is that intensity 8 or 9? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's intensity 8 on Vanuatu, right on Port
I think
Vila.
we have a new earthquake. Not sure.
Yeah.
No, that's the Cuba region, ironically, where the last earthquake we covered was.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's.
Okay, there was a state. I'm looking at the USGS Shake map, and there was a station in Port Vila that recorded 45.48 PGA, which is basically how much the Earth, like how violent shaking was compared to gravity. So that's 0.4. I'd say around 0.45 times the force of gravity. And if you think about that, that's pretty violent. That's violent shaking right there. Because gravity obviously is a very strong force.
It's going down again.
We'll see if it does another wave.
Keep in mind that tsunamis can come in multiple waves, so just always be wary. Even if you think the tsunami is over, there could still be more waves on arriving. So just stay on higher, keep evacuating and stay on higher ground until that warning is lifted.
So this is coming from someone that lives in Vanuatu. Obviously, it's not really a great source. It's someone on Twitter named Dan McGarry saying massive earthquake in Port Vila right now. Biggest one I've seen in 20 plus years. My wife says there's been a major landslide near the Wharf Road. Stand by for more.
Yeah, so I'm currently looking at that. So it looks like per me looking at it, I think the first tsunami was around 0.4 meters, and the second one was around 0.6 meters. Here, and it looks like it's about to go up again. So it looks like there may be a third wave on this.
Yeah, they come in waves.
And overall, the sea level, like it is like the wave. If there is a third wave, it is already higher. So
Yeah, this is a
Dang, there's
quite.
some aftermath video, and yeah, it's from inside a store, and just everything's on the floor.
We have not been made aware of casualties yet. However, we probably expect those numbers to start or probably we're expecting those numbers to start getting reported soon. Hopefully, there hasn't been any casualties, of course, but uh,
Dude, that's at least 8 from the aftermath video I'm watching currently.
um,
Like seeing there's everything is just on the floor. Take that with a grain of salt, though. It's
we are
inside a store and the power's out.
we are getting people to tune in, so let's go over what we have been or what we know. Um, at approximately 45 minutes ago, and now nearing an hour, so approximately 45 minutes to an hour ago, a preliminary magnitude of 7.4. Some estimates have gone 7.8, but we're going to keep it at 7.4 because the majority of estimates are going by. A 7.4 earthquake struck the islands of Vanuatu, and then about 10 minutes later, reports from underwater buoys reporting tsunami waves um, have come into the press. It should be noted, however, that approximately 30 minutes after, reports started coming out that the U.S. Embassy building in Vanuatu collapsed as a result of the shaking. We have not been made aware of fatalities, casualties, etc. Um, we do not know what the situation is in there. We do know, however, that there is likely a second tsunami wave forming, and we could be potentially talking about a third wave beginning to form in. So that
Mm.
is something to be uh, that's something to keep an eye on. Of course, if you are on the coastlines of Australia, and I would say Australia, Vanuatu, and Fiji, I would evacuate because we do not know what has generated the tsunami, whether it was the earthquake or a potential underwater landslide. Sources indicate, however, that we could be talking um, maybe an underwater landslide. So just understand that with that in mind, just understand that. We will also, um, with these type of earthquakes and the mechanisms behind it, we would expect to start beginning to see multiple dozens of aftershocks within the coming hours from this. So, um, yeah, stay tuned here on Disaster Central. We're gonna keep going this. We're gonna keep doing live coverage. Uh, we will keep doing live coverage uh, all the way until we're no longer needed. But until then, uh, my team members, of course, me here in the headquarters in Houston, Texas, Arctic, Roman, and Rainy Saturday will be here to provide you as much coverage as they possibly can. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, this is the situation. We do not know the full extent of the situation. The USGS has given, I think, a shake map of 8,
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which is, I
and
believe,
that's right. Oh, that's right on the capital, Port Vila. So
Let's
that's
go
not
to
definitely not
that.
ideal.
and that is considered violent. So, um, there was violent shaking that took place around there. Uh,
I'll just go over some damage that we've seen. We've seen a lot of products in stores falling over. We've seen a lot of shelves that have been toppled over, a lot of furniture and glassware broken, and most majorly, we have seen some building collapses. Most notably with that U.S. Embassy building, where the first floor collapsed in on itself. So the first floor is basically gone. and so it's now a 3-story building and not a 4-story building.
And that is very bad news. Um, so that is bad news. We do not know how many people are on the first floor at the time, and considering the fact that multiple aftershocks are likely, including potential strong aftershocks that include magnitude 6 uh, or greater, um, we likely will not know what the full extent of that damage is. However, uh, again, given the extent, we assume that this also is a uh, embassy building, so we do assume that people were in there, and hopefully, and possibly, unfortunately, people trying to get out on the first floor from the evacuation progress. So we do not know if there's been any confirmed fatalities, casualties, etc. What we do know, however, is that there has been a tsunami generated, and actually multiple tsunamis generated from this uh, earthquake or underwater landslide. So that is
Um,
what we know so far.
And I would just like to reiterate, if you get a tsunami warning, and obviously if you're in Vanuatu, if you're anywhere in Vanuatu right now, I would evacuate because that's where the epicenter of this earthquake was. But if you're in any other countries like Australia and Fiji, if you receive a tsunami warning, obviously evacuate immediately.
um,
And so it looks like a tsunami is starting to be observed in one of the islands to the south, which I'm pretty sure is called Tana Island. It has around a 0.1 meter tsunami, but that's probably
the
part of the first wave. And the second wave was bigger.
the internet connectivity dropped by 50%. Take this with a grain of salt. Obviously, this is coming from Internet Society Plus is the source. Not too sure on how accurate their information is, but from what we know, following reports of the magnitude 7.4 earthquake in Vanuatu, IODA Live is showing signs of internet connectivity drop below 50%, which that's not good. That means significant damage has happened to the cell service and internet there.
CD Josh asks, Disaster Central, what can people or what do you recommend the people in northern Vanuatu do? So, um, I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and say this is probably if a tsunami has not reached y'all yet, it's about to. So I'm gonna recommend that you seek shelter. Uh, not seek shelter, evacuate. Sorry. uh, Evacuate, but understand fully. You have to understand fully that during this progress and during this process, there's a very strong likelihood that we do see a um, another big aftershock from this. And we have gotten reports, and seismic stations have reported already that or buoys have reported, sorry, that there has been a second tsunami that has been generated and potentially a third one. So
Yeah.
go evacuate under the expectation that more waves, and this is just general advice for Vanuatu as a whole. Um, Evacuate and understand that during this evacuation process, there will be major aftershocks that does occur and that will occur as a result. And because this type of earthquake and the mechanisms that we do see around it, they do form. These aftershocks do tend to be on a much more greater scale compared to other type of mechanisms where we see a fault rupture. So that's what we will say. Any new news? Any new
Yeah.
information or news?
There is 100% a third tsunami wave. It's still recording how big it is, but there is definitely a third one.
Yeah, I just want to take this time to reiterate. Tsunamis do not come in only one wave. It comes in multiple waves. Even if you think the tsunami is over and there's no more waves coming, just wait for that warning to be lifted before going back down to the ground and shore. because you don't want to take that risk.
If you do have any questions, comments, concerns, send them on the YouTube chat. Make sure to include Disaster Central, so we can have a much more easier time trying to read out your questions. So that's new news. So breaking news, not necessarily confirmed, but it's almost guaranteed that we're beginning to see a third tsunami wave forming. So that is your breaking news right now. Third tsunami waves are beginning to form.
Theo Cahill asks in chat, asking for the risk of tsunami level in Auckland, New Zealand. I honestly don't think there's going to be a major tsunami in Auckland because that's quite far away. But even if the scenario that there was a tsunami warning, just evacuate if there was. But if there's no warning, I would stay calm and not worry about it. But if you do get a warning, obviously evacuate.
Oh yeah, listen to the warnings.
Make sure, and by the way, we're going to be live for at least a few hours. But would someone in Brisbane, Australia be safe? As The Walking Dead edits. Let me get you that information for you. And if anybody else can answer that question for me, that would gladly be helped. Brisbane, Australia.
So I found the official Australian tsunami warning info, and it's for the entire coast of New Zealand. I mean, not New Zealand, Australia. For every place on the coast of Australia, they're saying there's no threat, so I wouldn't worry.
There it is. That's news here. No threat for tsunami in Australia. And also, during these type of earthquakes, we have to understand as well that there's always a risk that this earthquake can be followed by a bigger one within 48 hours. There has been historical examples of that. There's also been examples where we've seen things like this progress for hours after, or not hours, months after. So please understand that a foreshock, while highly unlikely, it is possible. So, anybody have news on casualties or the embassy? If they want to report it.
Not yet. There's nothing on any injuries or death yet. Hopefully not.
There's nothing about the embassy building, but there was a video of the embassy building, and I don't really see any people still inside of it, so that's at least a good sign. But you can't know definitively that everyone was safe. You just need to wait for official reports.
Yeah,
there's been
and
sorry, just keep going.
No, I'm gathering information as I go. So
doing graphics. Remember, again, if you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, tag at Disaster Central or just leave them on the chat section. One of our contributors will be able to answer them for you. Disaster Central will continue operations for at least 2 hours, and until then, our decision will be made if we should continue for longer. So Disaster Central will maintain operations as
the thing
what
is
we're doing right now.
Port, the city that is 49,000 people in population, so it's quite populated. That's
also. I just want to say that if anyone's seeing like crazy, very large earthquake numbers that are getting reports of like 8.5, that is false. That is probably reported by Global Quake, which is good for getting immediate data, alerting you that there is an earthquake, but it's not good for exact measurements, not at all. So
it's like an alert thing more than anything.
Yeah.
else.
Just to gives you some immediate information that there is a large earthquake, not
So
showing the
actually,
exact
it's
depth
really good if
and
you're in an
magnitude.
earthquake-prone area. To tell you, hey, there's an earthquake nearby. You should take shelter under a desk. But for exact measurements, yeah, it's not the best. Especially in this kind of region where there's not as many seismos that are loaded onto Global Quake. It's you don't get that same accuracy, because say if this was like in New Zealand,
California.
yeah, like in places with a bunch of seismographs to get calculations pretty fast like that, it would be a little more accurate.
Nothing new in terms of news. So, uh, we're gonna take this time, an opportunity to answer your questions. So, any questions you do have, leave them below. Also, quick little announcement to be made. We do have, we will make a decision in about probably 2 hours. We will make a decision about whether or not commentary streams will be needed. Commentary streaming will be needed for this earthquake. Now, of course, for the next 2 hours, we will be doing continuous live coverage, um, with, of course, maybe a break or two along the way. But let's just explain right now. Oh, dude, I'm looking at my graphic. Let's just
Yeah.
explain right
So
now what you're looking at on your screen. So, on um, the main screen where you see uh, on the main screen, center screen, you're looking at Global Quake. There is your that's what we're using to track and monitor earthquakes around this region. Then, of course, on the bottom, you can see your headlines and your other information that should be noted on the bottom. Then you have your scroller, which should give a summary of what you are looking at. And then on the top right hand screen, you are looking at what we are covering. So that's what our main subject is. Arctic, I believe you did have news, so go ahead.
yeah, so this is from the National Emergency Management Agency in New Zealand. There is no tsunami threat for the earthquake for the people who were interested in New Zealand.
Okay, that is good there. Good breaking news. There is no threat of a tsunami in New Zealand. So that is good news there. Of course, the main threat right now is Fiji and Vanuatu then. In Vanuatu, there has been confirmed tsunami reports through the buoys. Through buoys, we're not necessarily sure how big the tsunami is, and tsunamis will be, but um, that should uh, begin to come out shortly. Um,
Yeah, not much else coming out.
so, let's see. I'm trying to see what we can show. Um, oh, okay. Now I see the building collapse there. Um, I'm not sure we can show it, but the picture in question shows, I believe, what is the U.S. Embassy building, and pretty much you can see the building leaning or tilting more towards the left or to the right, and this was as a result of that building collapse, the partial building collapse of the first floor. Is that an earthquake here? No, it's not. So, okay. So, I'm not sure if I can show it, but uh,
Oh wait, I just found this out. That building that we're talking about, that's not the U.S. Embassy building. That's the French Embassy building. So
There
sorry
you
for
go.
that
there we go. Okay.
misconception. And I've found a picture of the building. It looked like before the earthquake, and it looks like the first floor that. So it looks like the first floor that collapsed was on like some shops or like some like the lobby of the building. It doesn't look like there was like offices, so that's a good sign that there are probably not as much people were in the upper floors.
The question does remain though, and we probably have already seen aftershocks that have not been reported on Global Quake. But the question does remain: um, when will we begin to see these aftershocks come in? Um, and I don't have an answer to that question because again, we can't predict earthquakes, so that's one thing.
The only aftershock that the USGS is reporting is a 5.5, but it can be assumed since the USGS doesn't report smaller earthquakes that are outside the United States, that's probably a lot more smaller aftershocks like 4s and 3s that they just aren't reporting.
Yeah, because Global Quake reported a 4.5 earthquake aftershock, but yeah, yeah, that's something to keep an eye on. Scott Hamilton says, yes, no issue to Brisbane based on distance. Yes, that is correct. There is no threat. And I want to clarify this now, for those Australian and New Zealand viewers watching. There is no threat for tsunami if you are watching from Australia or New Zealand. The biggest threat right now for tsunami is Vanuatu and maybe small little islands in Fiji, but that's about it. And Vanuatu, the main city, which is what's the city called?
Port Vila.
Port Vila or Port Vila. Uh, Port Vila has a population of 49,000, which obviously is a concern because it's quite populated. And that area got intensity 8 when it came to the USGS's preliminary shaking report. So that is one thing about this that is one thing about this earthquake itself. Um, the shaking goes far, and the violent shaking spreads out far. So
Wait, is
Okay.
that building's the
I found some
French
more
embassy, right?
damage.
Or-
I found some more damage pictures. This looks like some shop, probably in the main area of Port Vila. There's a wall that has a hole in it is cracked, and there's a lot of windows are broken and shelves are falling over. And we've already talked about this, but there's a large landslide near the port. But I don't think it actually fell into the port. On the it was just on the harbor, where the cargo is stored, not actually falling into the water, which is a good thing because that would cause a tsunami at the port, but that obviously didn't happen.
whew, let's see. Um, we apologize for the silence. We're just trying to get as many reports as we possibly can. So, and we're trying to get as much news as we can. We're gathering information. So we apologize for the silence. Um, in the meantime, if you do have, also Tight Lines asks or says, um, just seen some footage of minor damage to all buildings in a 3-foot tsunami wave. So, not sure how to interpret that, but
No, that is the U.S. embassy building.
We haven't found any
Further research.
footage of tsunamis yet.
yeah.
It's
Uh,
the but there is significant damage.
let's not. I'm not trying to.
I did
Uh,
further research on that building that collapsed. That is the U.S. Embassy building. It yeah, looks the same. Although, yeah, I'm basing this.
Yeah,
off
it's the
pictures.
French embassy building.
It's the
And
French one?
yeah, it's
Oh,
the French. And
oh,
I
never
just
mind. I'm looking at the wrong one.
one thing
Oh
I
yeah.
find interesting about this building collapse is when there's a video of it, and so like one side of the building it's completely standing, but the other side it's the first floor has collapsed. And I'm just wondering why that happened. I
It's
think it's
more like
because there's a
supports in the middle of it.
considerably more windows and less beams on the left side of the building, which was the one that collapsed. So I'm assuming that's why that side of the building collapsed while the other one didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, we just got a new
Whoa.
aftermath video in, and it's so a building has collapsed and it's collapsed on a
Cars.
parking lot and there's cars trapped under this
That's
collapsed building
bad.
oh.
and it's crushed. So
That's not
obviously
good.
some major damage and collapsed buildings, as we've been reiterating.
Yeah, and it. Wait. Uh, Still no casualty reports, but that will probably come on later if there is any. Hopefully not. But the situation is pretty dire.
Not to ruin your hopeful party, and hopefully I am wrong about this, but considering the fact that we have seen likely what is violent to extreme shaking in Port Vila, Vanuatu, in a very populated area, and considering that we have gotten reports of multiple building collapses and cars trapped beneath the rubble, uh, there is
Yeah,
a
it's
very
not
it's
looking
not
good.
it's not certain and it's not guaranteed, but there's an increasing likelihood that we will begin to see those casualty numbers, and hopefully they're just casualties and not fatalities. Uh, if they're and of course that sounds grim to say, but there is a huge probability that we're seeing casualties. Now I'm not sure about fatalities themselves. Um,
But off the fact that we've seen many building collapses, that usually suggests that there is going to be some sort of injuries.
yeah, stand by for a special report whenever it decides to come in. Um,
Yeah, yeah, that's
This is a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela, located here in Houston, Texas, at our headquarters. Um, a massive magnitude 7.4 earthquake has struck Vanuatu, and tsunami warnings have been issued for the coasts of Vanuatu and the northern parts of Fiji. This is a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela here in Disaster Central headquarters in Houston. I'm joined by Arctic, Roman, and Rainy. How are we doing?
Hi, so we've concluded. I don't know if you heard, but there's a close-up video of the embassy that collapsed, and it is confirmed it is the U.S. embassy because the coat of arms is being shown in this video, and it says U.S. embassy right there.
Okay, so it was a U.S. embassy building that has collapsed then. Okay. Stand by for that.
Yeah, that's um
Yeah, so Port, Port Villa has been seeing oscillations for a bit. Expect that would continue for an hour, 2 hours or so.
Reports,
So
sorry,
far,
I do have breaking news. Um, Reports are suggesting now that quote multiple buildings have come down around the town, and that quote major rescue operations are underway to recover people from inside the buildings. So we just talked about this earlier. Um, there is now a near guarantee possibility that we're seeing um, casualty figures and fatality figures
Yeah.
beginning to go up. We've also just gotten reports that most of communications in Vanuatu have collapsed or are
So yeah, the
gone.
information is very, very
So
limited from
that
this, so it's
is
really not
huge
good.
breaking news. Um,
That is,
One thing that is good so far, we haven't seen any signs of at least a large or a major tsunami. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
so these waves could cause damage to boats and ports, but I don't think we're going to see like with Japan in 2011 or the 2004 tsunami with entire cities getting wiped out. I think if with this tsunami, if it did cause damage, which it probably did, it's probably going to be boat damage and damage at ports and maybe some damage to some buildings that were just on the coast. So I don't think we're going to see the
this is
entirety of the city
that's
getting
not good.
destroyed.
we're also getting reports now that this is at least according to internet connectivity in Vanuatu, they have completely collapsed beginning at around well around their time it is around 1:50 in the morning and excuse me for that voice thingy.
It's
Um,
daytime there
or is that? Oh wait, is that for?
It is daytime.
though.
Okay, apologies. Internet. So again, this is coming from sources that are telling us, or sources from Vanuatu. Uh, multiple buildings have gone. Quote, buildings have gone down, and big rescue operations are ongoing to recover people in the rubble. So this is not the news we wanted, but that is what is going on. Uh, I mean, yeah, I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah, there's more buildings videos
Mm.
that are collapsed. I think that's might be the same one. Nope.
Mm.
We know that's a different building. Oh man.
It
Yeah,
looks like something like a convenience store or something.
it's a pretty bad one.
Yeah, that's the one that crushed the cars. Oh man. Oh, that's completely flattened from what I'm seeing.
I guess
Also,
energy.
I've seen pictures of the road and ground having large cracks in them, which is also a sign of a violent earthquake, violent shaking.
Okay, so you can think of what I was saying before I was interrupted. So the Port Villa station, looking at it, has peaked around 0.4 meters above tidal normal in Port Villa, and for the Lenakiltana station, sorry for the pronunciation, is also around 0.4 meters as well. That's this island to the south. Dude, that's what I'm seeing so far on the sea level monitoring.
Yeah, the rescue efforts have started. Soon we should be seeing aid. Oh yeah, Red Cross. Wait, let me see. Let me confirm this.
You know what's crazy? I mean, this is unrelated, but one of our contributors, who isn't here, uh, she told me specifically a few days ago that she sensed she had a feeling of something was gonna happen this week, and
Yeah.
coincidentally, the moment this happens, she's not here. So, um,
Yeah, that kind of happened with me during Dodo, except I like was so
Okay,
close. But
and
yeah,
more
let's be on the
information.
point.
Yeah, so the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center has issued their final tsunami threat message where they drop
Not Noto, Peru. Whatever.
their tsunami threat for the area and do not expect the tsunami to exceed their previous forecast of a meter for the area, but sea levels change to still happen for a little bit. They have, like I said, their observations. Here's official observations from the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center. They had a quarter of a meter or 0.8 feet and Vanuatu, and
Wait,
for Linikel, the other station I did, they have 0.17 meters or 0.5 feet. That's their official observations.
image show, because there was an image of the landslide that has happened
Yeah,
in
that's
that
the.
city. Hold on, I'm gonna go on global or um, Google Earth to see if there was buildings there. I'm not sure exactly where this is, but it's not really a big. It's a town, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. That's not good. But still, either way, that's bad. Yeah, that uh, yeah. If there was buildings under that, whoa! I think this landslide actually extends beyond the frame of the image. You could see it. I don't know if we could show the image on live.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
think we
gonna
can.
limit images just for copyright
Yeah.
use. So, yeah, I'm not gonna be showing those images, unfortunately.
Tsunami observations. The following are the tsunami wave observations from the coastal and or deep ocean sea level gauges. Okay. Vanuatu gauge coordinates. Blah 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 blah. 0.25 meters max height. So 0.8 feet. Wave
Yeah, so
period in
the
minutes is
Tsunami Warning
16 minutes.
Center officially thinks it has peaked so far, but oscillations will continue for a while. Still no word for any other exterior countries, other tsunami warning areas. There's been no observations to the north so far. No, I don't think there's a lot of gauges over there. And it would only be New Caledonia to the south.
Mm-hmm.
Again, so far, no word of fatalities, no word of casualties, which is presumably a good thing. But that could change very likely considering reports that we have gotten. So, yeah, that is really bad. And this is also around the time where this is like Christmas. So, uh, yeah, that's just not fair. Um,
Still no significant aftershocks have occurred yet.
And that's probably a good thing because as the farther away you get from the starting from when the earthquake happened, the less likely of a large aftershock gets. So it's probably a good that we've not seen a large aftershock. I'm not saying that there couldn't be one, but I'm just saying the chances are getting lower of having one.
And we have Nathan in the call. This is
Good afternoon, Nathan. Nathan is the owner and head or co-owner and I guess main developer for Global Quake. So, how are we doing tonight? Well, at least here in North America, where most all of us are from.
Well, it's been a busy night so far, by the looks of it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've gone news yet, but we have been told by multiple sources that there has been a confirmed that there has been several building collapses, and that there's major rescue operations ongoing to recover those trapped in the buildings. So, not sure if you're learning about that right now, but
Yes, I've seen. No, Vanuatu does not have, honestly, the infrastructure to handle some kind of disasters like this. So I'm very unsurprised that there are big building collapses, and it's tragic to see, but it needs to be done as fast as possible, given the fact that the capital city was the closest to the quake epicenter. So it's very important that rescue crews hurry as much as possible, given the fact that most of what I'm seeing so far is pancaking. These are the same type of like building collapses that were observed in 2023 during the Turkey earthquake sequence, which caused, as we all probably know, multiple tens of thousands of deaths, which is really horrific. And Vanuatu, being this small, unprepared island nation for a disaster this big, is going to have a long recovery ahead of it. But it's tragic to see, honestly.
Yeah,
All communications have been, or most communications are down in Vanuatu, and especially
yeah,
in
yeah, exactly. That's the bad part of it. Is like a lot of people are reporting now through Starlink, and I say a lot of people is actually not really a lot of people. It's only the people that have access to that, and so that is our only way we're gonna get any sort of news until further notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will
It's
say
also
this.
unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go on.
I will say this is quite an unfortunate sequence because, I mean, it sounds cruel, but we were kind of expecting an earthquake about this size to happen. We just didn't know where. And to discuss this further, I think Nathan and I could probably agree that, I mean, just in general, this year has been quite inactive when it comes to earthquake activity. So it was
Very
bound.
much so.
It was bound. It was bound that we are going to see something like this happen. Now the question was, where was this going to happen, and when was this going to happen? So,
Given this region's geology, actually, I'm very unsurprised it happened there. There were quite a few different sevens happening in that region in different, different sequences happening in ranges from 2016 to 2023. So having it happen in the northern area of that subduction line is actually what was expected, given it had a gap. So, for example, the closest earthquake to be of around magnitude 7 was in 2017 in October. There was a sequence happening that reached sort of that magnitude range, but it was released in a duplet instead of a single earthquake. So, seeing this happen is completely expected, but again, you can never expect where an earthquake will happen. Just they're not unusual circumstances. As unfortunate as it is, this area is prone to earthquakes, given it's a subduction zone.
yeah, and just to give just to reiterate the timeline of what has gone throughout the past, I guess now probably almost an hour.
I'm getting information right now. It seems that I'm just checking for the source. It seems that there has now been a report of a 1 meter measured tsunami wave.
That's it. Breaking.
I'm just waiting to get the source.
Yeah, search and rescue.
Can you put it in the mic where you saw it? Or not know I'm your discussion.
What was it called again? The building?
I'm checking.
Building collapsed. Bill.
No, multiple building collapses. Also, I must comment on how Global Quake performed given this earthquake, because it was honestly rather atrocious. The reason being, Australia has a large amount of extremely sensitive stations. Global Quake was really performing not too bad at the beginning of this earthquake. It was measuring it at the 7.3 range, and as it started hitting what is called the Aw Pass, it started measuring it as a higher and higher magnitude, which started confusing the system into trying to take an average of the stations recording it as a magnitude 9 and the other stations recording it as what it was, a magnitude 7.3 around. The average being around that 8.2 range, which is what ended up being recorded in the end. And it's very unfortunate, but I wish it was a way to filter out these stations' inaccuracies. But currently, with the data that we have available to us, there's no such way to do it. So we will definitely be looking into the Australian station sensitivity issue. I think it is possible that we might be taking a few stations offline due to their sensitivity issues, or be making major adjustments to the sensitivity of the stations in the area, because there's no way that stations should be measuring, over one magnitude point, which is, if you guys don't know, the magnitude scale is a logarithmic scale. There's no way it should be measuring something 32 times the actual size of it.
Yeah.
So we will be doing a lot of big reviews on that.
Yeah, sorry, just trying to get as much information as we can from sources that are within the area. Pretty hard to do so when all communication lines have been shut, in particular near Port Vila. We do know so far, from what we know, there has been an embassy building that has collapsed. Whether that's the U.S. or French, doesn't really matter. Um, there's a possibility that people were there at the time that building collapsed. Now, in particular, the type of building collapse that we did see was sort of a pancake collapse, in which we saw the first floor completely collapse on itself, while we saw the second, third, and fourth floor withstand. Um, and that's from what we can tell exteriorly. We don't know how it looks like from the inside.
Oops,
Um,
CCTV.
There's a
Oh
possibility.
my god.
Whoa. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for
My
cutting you
ears
off.
just
But
got blown
this
off.
video shows at least 8.
Where is
Yeah,
it?
that's an easy 8.
Put
At
in
least.
earthquake chat and WND.
Where is it?
I
Earthquake
think
chat and
earthquake.
WND.
Okay, let me check.
That's the thrust on that sends these car. This car doesn't even have
Literally
wheels.
everything's moving.
This car doesn't even have wheels.
Oh yeah, so I have new tsunami information.
Oh,
So
my
from
gosh.
this is for Fiji, there is now a tsunami watch in effect.
Oh,
It only applies to coastal low-lying areas, which they include Western Division, including the Yasawas Mamanuska. I can't read. Sorry for the pronunciations. Davao and nearby smaller islands. There's a tsunami watch for low-lying areas of Fiji.
situation is beginning to become, the videos are coming out, and what we have seen and what we are seeing, uh slowly but surely, as attempts are being made to restore um energy and power and service.
Oh,
uh
that's why.
This is insane.
we're beginning to see video come out, and of course we can't show this video. We can't show videos like this, just out of like just to keep us safe from copyright. But what we will say is, some of the footage that we are seeing does depict very violent shaking on multiple parts in multiple videos. We also have gone videos of, I think that was the military uh, in the city doing search and rescue operations, which is not a surprise, but it is quite worrying. Uh, so Betty Zoom says, is the tsunami in the Pacific Ocean a threat to Vancouver, since it's in a hole? I'm assuming you're talking about either Australia or Canada, and to both of them, it's no. We do not expect, and for those who are tuning in, we do not expect a tsunami to. We do not expect a tsunami in Australia and New Zealand, or pretty much anywhere except for Vanuatu and Fiji. Uh, and of course, that's not even guaranteed. So just
Mm-hmm.
please keep braced with us. I do want to quickly say that we're going to be. I just do want to quickly say that we're going to quickly be. We're going to be staying live on the broadcast for probably another few hours. if that's all right with the whole team. But
Uh, I might have to
yeah,
go a little
Okay,
later.
so for from the station in Port Villa, so the normal tide level is around 0.8 meters, and it just hit a new peak on this newest wave that just came in at around like just over 1.2 meters. So that is 0.4 meters and bigger than what the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center put. So we'll see how it
Oh,
continues going up or if it goes back down because it's cut off right now.
oh man, yeah, that's
But
not.
as I
It's
said,
just
the first tsunami's not always the biggest, and that probably goes along with what the Fiji put a watch just in case.
the situation and yeah, this sucks to say, but the situation as the picture is become or beginning to become more clear is not looking very good. Um, we I've just seen videos, and I'm sure the team has seen some videos too. Some of the aftermath from this, and it is looking increasingly worse the more access we're beginning to get from that area, Port Villa. Um, yeah, um, that is quite concerning uh, statement and situation. By the way, if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, make sure you send them in the chat tag, or just say at Disaster Central, um, and we'll be able to read those questions out easier and a lot more clearer. We do have over 280 people tuned in to the stream. Welcome all. I'm going to give a summary of events I'm going to summarize the events from the beginning where we're at right now. So maybe about an hour and 30 minutes ago, an earthquake of a preliminary magnitude of 7.4 struck the coast of Vanuatu. A few, yeah, struck the coast of Vanuatu. Uh,
yeah. But from that
tsunami
video that already came up, that is yeah, that's
tsunamis
bad.
had been reported. We've also gotten reports of landslides taking place near the harbor, not on the bay, but near the harbor. We've also gotten reports of several building collapses, including the U.S. Embassy um, in Vanuatu. So we've also, about 20 minutes ago, received reports that telecom communication systems in Vanuatu have collapsed. Uh, we've also gotten reports that several buildings have collapsed, and that several rescue operations are ongoing. Uh, with to at least to try to rescue people, as many people as they possibly can. So the situation is beginning to look uh, stark, and it's such a stark contrast to what we have seen um, earlier. I remember, I think last week, we were talking about a huge swarm of earthquakes in Alaska, I think, and we moved on from that to now this, and it just it's increasingly looking it's increasingly looked
Um,
grim. Um, no reports of casualties, luckily, so far. Um, but we don't know if the number is gonna rise. So that's something there. Anybody have any new news or something like that?
no, I am just archiving a little bit right here because this is not good. This video that came out kind of showed me why these buildings are collapsing. To be honest, even if this was in a fully developed country, this kind of shaking, you would still see heavy damage because like it's like this is like MMI
Don't
8 to
overestimate it
9.
here. Yeah. Um, could you turn the volume up, please? I cannot hear you. I think this is referring to Roman. think your
Oh,
mic. I think yeah, I have you at 200%. I think you're too far away from the mic.
I'm like right up to it, so let me just do that if that helps.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Hold on, speak again.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, let me just raise you up a little bit on OBS. Speak again.
Yeah, here you go.
There
Hello.
we go. That's much better. Um, all right, I think we fixed that problem. Uh,
Yeah, I was just saying how like the footage that has come out from this already, the CCTV footage, the one of the first videos that have come out of this earthquake, the shaking itself is it's pretty bad. This is like around MMI 8 to 9 from what I'm seeing, so take this with a grain of salt. But I could like I was saying, I could see why this collapsed buildings. The way this shook and the way it kind of thrusted upwards, like even if this wasn't a developed country, you would still see significant damage to buildings.
uh,
This is tragic.
sorry, I'm trying to get multiple things up. Uh, I do want to say, really quickly that this channel runs on your support. And I know this is kind of a bad timing to do this, but I think it's pretty important that we do talk about this, or not talk about this, but I should mention it. This channel runs on your support. Um, Global Quake runs on your support, so make sure that if you do, please share the stream out to as many people as you know. We're trying to get the information out. I think we're the only channel live with commentary for this. So and I think there's a moderate size aftershock going on right now in uh Vanuatu. Yeah. Sorry for that interruption. I'm trying to because we're getting so much information very quickly. Uh, there we go. Um, Sorry, I'm working on this graphic side of production. Yeah, we're getting a big aftershock from this. Uh,
Mm,
and I'm trying to show you
It
on the
looks to
seismic
be
station.
yeah. Oh, okay.
There we
This might
go.
be uh, 5.
Yeah, this looks like a major aftershock. The main station that was on the island of Vanuatu is actually offline currently, which is not a good sign.
That's what
It
happened
means they
in
have a
yeah.
crippling, like their electrical infrastructure is crippling. Do expect this aftershock to be overestimated once it starts reaching mainland Australia. Again, it has that issue that we've discussed. But yeah, it looks like it's pretty bad. It looks, yeah, a 5.2 seems pretty average at this point within the aftershock sequence. I believe for 7.3, the largest magnitude that we can see off the top of my head is going to be a 6.2 to 6.3. I doubt that would actually happen in this region. It's more likely going to be around the 5.8 to 5.9 range. However, it is a very, it's linked directly to the tectonic setting. Um, so yeah, it could be higher.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and I guess the biggest problem with just for now at least, the future for this application software, uh, is really bright. I just do want to quickly point out though, the biggest problem with us using software like Global Quick is that they have a tendency to sometimes over underestimate things. So just understand that once we do get this magnitude coming out on Global Quick, it's gonna be a little bit overestimated. Um, but nevertheless, it is still a really great software, um, especially for those who live near earthquake-prone zones. Um, so yeah, make sure that if you do have any questions, comments, concerns, send them in the YouTube chat. Tag at Disaster Central for clearer view and see. Hopefully, um, by the time we are finished with our coverage, uh, we will get more um, info on that.
Info.
Rachel, to answer your question, we're using sounds from Global Quake, so you will hear those audios that da 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 da. It's just detecting earthquakes. That's what it's it. That's it, really. Um, so yeah, apologies for that, Rachel.
Wow.
Oh my god. Bro, come on. Give me a second.
Cooked.
Oh, waiting for more information to come out on anything really, but information is limited currently right now to only people with like I don't know Starlink,
Which is not that many
because
people.
yeah, the powers. Yeah, not many people, especially on Vanuatu. Um, yeah, but search and rescue is taking place currently right now for all the buildings that have collapsed.
Blankster
And
asks,
from what
what is the sorry, but I have this question. Blankster
continue,
asks,
continue.
what is the population in the immediate area over 50,000? So
It's about 49,000. I have the population right here.
yeah, no, but just for
It's
the area, the
49,000.
generalized area itself is
Oh
likely
yeah, over
over
50
50,000. So
50,000.
Michael says East New Zealand moved to higher ground, better safe than sorry. No, Michael, um, actually, we have the tsunami. There is no tsunami threat to New Zealand, at least for now. Now, unless for whatever reason we do get a major earthquake of like over an 8, then things will change. But for now, that is highly unlikely. And actually, likely, probably not gonna happen. So I wouldn't get my fears too high. What I will say though is that you should expect aftershocks though, smaller aftershocks, not 8s. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Sounds corny to say that, but I mean, this project really runs off of it. Uh, we don't just do earthquake coverage, although if you look at our recently upload, it's been a lot of earthquake coverage. So,
Yeah, because just right now, there's with with it being nearing December, you don't see severe weather or like you know,
yeah, but granted,
it's a lot of geological
we
stuff.
do cyclone coverage, we do earthquake,
That
severe
too.
weather coverage. We do a lot. We do a lot of international coverage. So just understand that we don't just do earthquake coverage. We're also working on big projects for video formats, video wise. I think we're gonna have one coming out. I think in 9 days, if the all of the editing is done by then. And it's gonna
Oh
be
yeah,
our biggest project yet. So stay tuned for that.
and then too, may most likely might see a little documentary on a very unknown disaster. Well, a disaster people usually overlook.
And just
I'm
sorry.
not gonna say when.
Blankster also asks, were there any indications in the days leading up to this? No, there was not. Um,
There was not even foreshocks. I mean, there might have been, but they were so small they weren't detected. It's like, but yeah, there's relatively just no warning at all.
yeah. Um, thank you, Michael. Um,
Hmm. there you go. Uh, but yeah, so are there aftershocks happening right now? No, never mind. That's not. But yeah, so like we said, limited information currently at the moment.
Yeah, very limited. So I apologize for the silence. Um, one stressful morning. At least I have. I've had a stressful day. I was looking forward to a night's sleep, but
Mm-hmm.
I have finals too.
Exactly. Yeah, there's
Uh,
that. But you guys are our number one priority, though. Unless we are at current locations of school and stuff, and in tests, but we really respect your safety. So if we have the opportunity to go live and keep you guys updated, we will.
oh, we just tanked.
Also,
Oh my goodness. Oof.
I'm just not gonna speak.
Dude. Yeah, it's pretty late here. Um, at least school-wise, it's pretty late. But
But yeah, search and rescues are ongoing. Oh no, that image.
can we
With the
get?
collapse of buildings.
Can you look for any new news coming out of Twitter? I
I'm
think that if we go on the latest tab, we will be able to get something. Um, I would like to think so. Uh, yeah. By the way, I just want to ask, where are we all watching from? And because we have people on the call here, so we have two people from Houston, me and Arctic, and then we have a few people from other. We have another person from El Paso, and we have another one working. Probably our biggest contributor, working in Canada, Nathan. So yeah, we have that. But where are we watching from, folks? Australia,
Australia.
California, Alaska. Correct. There is no tsunami warning in Alaska, and we don't expect the tsunami warning to. We don't expect the tsunami to go Pacific wide. We're having another big aftershock. Another aftershock.
Wait, is that? Whoa. Oh yeah, that is another big aftershock.
That's probably another 5.
Looks
So,
5.
bro,
I'd
Pren,
say.
Pren,
Yeah, that's a 5. Looks like
look
it.
at the chat. Look at what Pren put, dude.
Let me see. California,
Jail,
Texas.
dude.
Jail.
Um,
I,
we got a lot of people from California. We have one
oh,
person from Aruba, New Zealand,
wait.
Brisbane, Australia, San Antonio, Texas, Oregon. Okay, so we got a pretty international viewer base. A pretty international viewer
Yeah,
base
this aftershock looks to
here. New
be about
Zealand, East
5.
Coast.
I'd
Yeah, I
say
would say
5.
that this aftershock was probably from a 4.8. It's like a 5.3. Probably what the USGS would go
Yeah.
for is like a 5, 4.9, something like that. Now, unless the waves begin to start spiking up taller and more close up with each other, then we can start talking about
Yeah, that would be.
probably a bigger aftershock. But
Mm,
shucks,
doesn't really.
Sweden, New Zealand, the east coast of New Zealand, Western Canada. Okay,
West
okay.
Canada.
Hoping
Nice.
everybody is safe. Thank you. Uh, still, by the way, we're just trying to have a conversation here because there's not much information we're getting. So, yeah. So
You
apologies
want
for
to do a
that.
summary of everything?
Yeah, if you want to, we can do that.
Yeah, sure. So, around how long ago? Wouldn't you say like
About
an hour and a half ago.
we're closing in on about an hour and 45 minutes ago.
Yeah, so about an hour and 45 minutes ago, a large earthquake hit the western part of Vanuatu, that island region right there. And it is a 7.3 right now. It is from the USGS, right? Right. Is it still 7.3?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so still 7.3. Struck the western part of Port Vila, and it caused significant damage. And the U.S. Embassy's first floor actually collapsed there, and there was reports of a large landslide that actually fell within around that same city or town. And it has a population of around 50,000 too, so it's a sizable town that got affected by this with around MMI 8 to 9, according to USGS, right? Did they update this?
No, I don't know. There's no tsunami videos, and even if there were, we can't show them because copyright exists. So
Yeah.
yeah, sorry about that.
But yeah, so we have reports that multiple buildings have collapsed, unfortunately. And there's been some aftershocks here and there. Like there's one currently happening right now.
Yeah,
So
there's been a yeah, I think, and again, I just want to reiterate, these are the type of earthquakes where we do see, and let me just pick up my volume a little bit. These are the type of earthquakes where we do see massive quantity of aftershocks. So, and just this is because of the rupture, the base of the rupture. So, do expect a lot of aftershocks to come in, uh, soon. So, yeah.
yeah, so that's basically what happened. And search and
Brazil,
rescue
Philadelphia,
is
Idaho, Canberra, Melbourne.
Looks like there's a major aftershock in the process.
I think we've had two.
ooh,
I think while you were gone, at least we've had two. Oh, okay.
No, this isn't a
Sorry.
major aftershock. It looks like it's regular.
So, Sue,
oh.
sorry about that. Our moderation system just kind of our our Nightbot is quite strict for whatever reason. I'll
What
fix
is heck doing?
I'll fix on it. I'll
Okay.
fix it. So apologies for that,
Um
Sue. Um, but she did say, for those who were interested, um, she is watching from the UK, praying for the people of Vanuatu will all be safe. I think we can all agree that we're all praying for the best for Vanuatu. Let's just reintroduce the team really quickly. A pretty diverse team, I would say so myself. Uh, we have Arctic from Houston, of course, me here in Houston. Roman from El Paso, and of course our biggest contributor, I would argue, our biggest contributor, Nathan, who is the owner or co-owner of Global Quake and main developer for Global Quake. Nathan from Canada, how are we doing?
good.
We're doing pretty good. You're not Nathan from Canada.
Oh, sorry. I'm typing in the chat right now while
It appears we're having identity difficulties here.
Dude.
Yeah, no, we're doing pretty good apart from the Global Quake little blunder there, but apparently everything's doing not that bad.
That's gonna go on the blooper reel. That's gonna be on the bloopers.
Hello.
I'm gonna try to find the I'm gonna try to clip it. I'm trying to find the timestamp to clip it. Let's see.
Oh, I should record all my mistakes.
Yeah. So of course Nathan runs this program. This is Global Quake. Global Quake is a really good software. I would argue pretty revolutionary. Because prior to this, we only had Jquake. But Global Quake pretty much has how many, like, over a couple thousand stations, to a couple thousand stations
Um,
across the world.
last I checked, the amount of stations we have is around 32,000.
Yeah, so that's a
So we
lot.
have quite a few stations. Yes.
So we do have, so yeah, he does have, and Global Quake is a really amazing feature. They pretty much detect earthquakes for you, um, and think of it like a early earthquake warning. If you live in an earthquake-prone zone, like in California or in New Zealand, or in this instance Vanuatu or in Australia, um, it will warn you that there's an earthquake coming, and it's relatively accurate when it comes to the arrival timings. Uh,
Again, depending on, yes, where it is. We are having pretty some difficulties depending on the areas of
Finally, I got this stupid
Yes,
bot to
the information.
work.
Yeah.
Let's see if it works. Uh, no, some commands don't work. Ah, okay, whatever. Um, uh, in case anybody wants to, if in case anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, send them in the YouTube chat. Tag at Disaster Central, and we will be able to give you that information when we can, when we read that chat. So, Eric Guerrera asks, and we're gonna get to that soon, but Eric Guerrera asks, what happened in San Andreas Fault? Nothing has happened in San Andreas Fault. Nothing's happened.
Nothing. Nope.
And then Heartland OK asks, um, do you watch Soho for coronal holes passing through the Earth facing the sun? Uh, not sh
Hey.
not sure what that's referring to, but
It's referring to like the sunspots. Like, yeah, I usually look at that. Nothing too big. As like, if I see like a massive, say what, like massive like CME, you get ejected out of one of these coronal holes, and I'll probably like, do like a video. It's just I couldn't do it for the last G5 because I was recovering from something. But anyways,
yo, that is going to
so the
uh no, no, no. Yeah, we're gonna have to start doing this.
yeah.
That is not happening. Sorry, but we're not gonna deal with that. So,
Okay.
uh,
There's not going to be any.
Okay, so this is a pretty interesting point. William says, without any doubt, due to climate change, earthquakes will get worse frequent. Actually, I'm gonna have to disagree with you here, and I'm not sure if Nathan's still here, but I think Nathan will disagree fundamentally with the idea that climate change, keyword climate change has something to do with geophysics, geographical physics. Um,
Absolutely not.
so exactly.
So no, there's been absolutely zero proof to that. There's not really even. I mean, the thing is, the climate and the Earth is two different places, and what happens below the ground is not affected by the CO2 above the ground. So that's the simplest way I can put it.
Yeah. Now, what I will say is, it doesn't affect earthquakes when they form, but it doesn't necessarily mean there isn't effects from earthquakes, or it does. Let me rephrase. That
Oh, I
doesn't
know what you mean.
necessarily mean that there will be impacts that are not from climate change. Like, for example, if there was a tsunami that struck from an earthquake and it hit a bunch of oil rigs, that would have environmental disasters. So,
Or like if a massive fire was caused by something like
Fukushima. But
uh, and whoa, so okay, breaking.
break. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, one person has died from the quake, reports have said,
Oh,
and
I'm
there's a
unsurprised
mass
that number
casualty
is bound
situation
to
going
that,
on.
that number is bound to rise.
That
Very
number.
honestly, it is going to rise.
Yeah, the amount of buildings that have collapsed completely, like the one story that just completely flattened. It's not looking good.
oh
Your
no.
thoughts and prayers to Vanuatu. So
So, breaking news. That's multiple. There's been multiple injuries, and I believe this is now considered or classified as a major mass casualty situation. Um, not surprised, but it is um worrying.
yeah, it's
Uh,
just this part of the world is just not built for something to this scale of strength. It's wow. Like there, like that one report from Vanuatu where the
I'm
citizen there
gonna
was saying this
so
is
so here's what we're gonna do. We briefly mentioned about climate change. Let's just try to limit that and focus solely on the earthquake because we don't want to try to. I've seen this happen before in some of our previous streams that have been big. One person says another thing and it all starts going down. So let's just try to keep it uh, into on topic. And we already had that discussion. Let's just keep it on topic. Um, yeah, that is breaking news. Mass casualty situation has been declared. Um,
casualty.
uh, I mean, this is not a surprise, but it's still heartbreaking nonetheless. Uh, we have over 500 people watching, tuning into the stream. Welcome to all. Uh,
Yeah, so far this is seeming to be a genuine mass casualty event. Given the population of Vanuatu, I'm honestly not surprised. I expect these numbers to be rising over time. So
Oh, we found the coordinates for the video. What?
Yeah, no, this is the worst to hit Vanuatu since
this is very
1999.
bad.
19 what?
So,
who
Yeah.
is this?
Yeah, that
yeah, worse than 25 years for Vanuatu.
yeah, there's like reports that came out too, just saying like we're saying like, oh, big quake happening right now in Vanuatu. This is the worst I've felt in over 20 years.
Not a surprise either. Welcome, Beaton. He's in California. Uh, how are you?
I'm sick, but it's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I got sick. Uh, I've been getting sick. But yeah, that's pretty relatable. We have so yeah, that's breaking news. So breaking news is, um, a mass casualty situation has been declared. Uh,
Oh yeah, so I like to state this since the USGS updated their pager at some point, but the estimated fatalities is now at 41% chance for there being 10 to 100 fatalities on it. So the USGS is saying it is likely there will be at least 10 deaths.
um, not that this is surprising, but yeah, this is not the news we wanted. But I kind of had a feeling this was gonna happen, just solely because there was previous indications that based on, like, for example, the picture of that embassy collapsing, uh just based on that, I had a bad feeling about what the city looked like itself. I do want to quickly mention this is off topic, but there was a hurricane that struck or cyclone that struck what's the country?
Mozambique
Mauritius,
and Madagascar.
Mozambique, Madagascar, and Mauritius. Um, and that has caused likely over 100 fatalities. It it has done a huge amount of damage to people there. Um, I think we're gonna be doing a video on that shortly.
Oh.
But
It looks like the New Zealand's GeoNet has now done a moment magnitude calculation and is bringing it up to 7.3. It's interesting how the EMSC still remains as 7.4 for the moment magnitude on this earthquake, but these numbers should change with time. I believe it would be closer to the 7.3 from all the sources I've seen. 7.3 in this area is still completely unheard of. It's the largest earthquake to hit the region in a long time, and hopefully the largest to hit it in a while, because this area, the infrastructure is not prepared for it. It is absolutely not built to withstand a quake of this size.
Yes.
Yeah, this is going to be a mass casualty event. There's no avoiding it at this point. The best thing that anyone could do at this point is just thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be Red Cross donations that will
There
open
already,
soon for it.
From what I saw, yeah, there already are like Red Cross donations coming on right now in search and rescue.
I'm good.
we're
because
having an aftershock right
Vanuatu
now.
is not a country. Oh, what size about?
I would say, I mean, it's not that strong.
4.4.
Probably a 4.4.
I'm seeing 4.4. Yeah. Well, yeah, this place battered by aftershocks. Keep in mind, aftershocks should just delay the whole rescue operation. It's horrific, but every time that somebody's crushed by a building, every shake will just worsen everything. So, I just hope that the rescue crews will be able to get to people on time to actually be able to save them before things get too bad that there's no return. But we'll see. So far, we're not hearing too much out of Vanuatu in terms of the rescue operations and its progress. So, hopefully, they will be done soon. But I do think that there will be things that will come soon. Oh, and I'm seeing reports of another earthquake in another area.
Yeah,
That
probably.
doesn't seem too bad. Yeah, Japan's getting something.
Japan
but it doesn't
5.3
seem too
preliminary
severe.
earthquake, Kagoshima Prefecture.
Oh yeah. I saw there was actually a little foreshock earlier there. when we were on
It's
stream.
really deep.
It's really deep. Okay, so Direwolf says I have a friend there. I will find out. Well, my thoughts and prayers will be to that friend that they are okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, given the fact that the communication infrastructure is severely damaged, there is not much that can be done in terms of reaching out to them. So all we can hope is that they're okay. There will be a lot of deaths from this, and the number will slowly creep into the morning.
Yeah, there's a very
for
high
those in the
magnitude.
East Coast, but yeah, 7.3 is a very, very dangerous event. This is where you start getting risks of landslides and liquefaction. Given the depths of this, liquefaction won't be an issue, though we have seen multiple reports that landslides have happened and will continue to happen. This is something that it can happen for months following a major earthquake event as the land gets destabilized. Avoid hills, avoid mountainsides. Wherever you see the signs that show the danger of falling rocks, avoid those areas for the time being. Falling rocks will keep falling. All it takes after being destabilized by 7.3 is another little aftershock to trigger another landslide. These natural processes happen usually over time, but earthquakes make them happen instantaneously.
Yeah, so we just saw a huge influx of people coming in. Let's just do a quick summary of the events so far. And sorry for
Mhm.
interrupting, Nathan, but I feel like
No
this was
worries.
kind of necessary. So approximately now, like over probably 2 hours ago, uh, 2
2 hours, yeah.
hours ago, we saw a magnitude. This is a recap for all of those who are tuning in. About 2 hours ago, we saw a magnitude 7.3 to 7.4. The MSC has a 7.4. The New Zealand GeoNet has a 7.3. Oh, whoa, holy. Um, then about 15 minutes into it, we saw the first indications of a tsunami. Probably, we don't know what caused a tsunami, whether it was the earthquake or the underwater landslide, or a potential underwater landslide.
Or
Then we
both. Too.
saw, or both, and then we saw about 30 minutes later, for the first images coming out, we got reports that a the embassy, the U.S. embassy, had collapsed, and then eventually, to about 30 minutes ago, we did see and we did get report not 30 minutes ago, 40 minutes ago, we did see and get reports that there were at least there has been quote several buildings that have collapsed, and that quote big rescue operations are undertaking or ongoing to recover people. Then uh, then, about 5 minutes ago, we had just learned that our first fatalities have been coming in. So far, we have one confirmed killed, and likely several hundreds have been injured as a result of this earthquake. So that's all we know so far, and that's for what we can say. Uh, but that's the recap. That's what we know so far. We also do know that there's been at least, through Global Quake and through the USGS, at least 3 or 4
Oh,
aftershocks that have struck. Two potentially being a six, or not six, five or greater. Um, and the USGS had a 5.5 aftershock about 10 minutes after the main shock. So that's all we know, folks. Um,
Yeah,
seems
so far, the aftershock sequence is following the traditional pattern. It is expected to cause a few more aftershocks, maximum probably reaching a magnitude of around 6.0 to 6.3. That will happen relatively soon after the actual main shock, relatively soon being within a week or more of the main event. If not, then it will likely not cause any large aftershocks. It has happened before where large earthquakes do not cause any big aftershocks, so it's honestly dependent on how much energy was released by the main shock and whether aftershock sequences will continue or decrease. So I would say anyone living in or around Vanuatu, definitely keep an eye out. It's could still be going. For example, a great example of any aftershock sequence would be 2011, where aftershock sequences are still happening to this day, given the size of the earthquake itself. So it could cause more earthquakes of size 6 and under. 5 is going to be the expected range for the first day, and lowering down to magnitudes of 4 and down to 3. At those points, it's going to be unnoticeable. So, but definitely keep an eye out for the time being. It's very possible to have a large aftershock.
Yeah, sorry, just want to say the Nightbot is quite strict. For whatever reason, it is quite strict, so apologies for that, Miss Teresa Moreno. Um, so apologies for that. It's the bot. We have over 800 people now tuned in, which is a crazy number. But yeah, so yeah, this is a quite a wild event. We're gonna keep going live. We're gonna probably be live for another hour or two, just if it's fine with the team. Understandably, you have to understand that here in the States, these are final weeks for us. I'm taking my finals on Wednesday, so I mean I should be here studying, but um,
I thankfully don't have as busy of a schedule, but yeah, I can keep on. Wow, I'm seeing a lot of images showing lots of damage. David, do you want to try showing images with proper sources? Should be okay.
Yeah. If yeah, let's see. Send me some images and then yeah. 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 Um, yeah, we're trying our best, folks. So if we're trying our best here, with as very little information as we can. So, um, you could help us by subscribing, liking, um, turning on the bell notifications. This project really runs through your support. So, just if you can, please. Um, yeah. So, Nathan, just send me some of the images.
Wow. Actually, I'm seeing reports that the U.S. Embassy in Vanuatu has had its entire first floor collapse.
Yeah.
You can see the sort of link that I showed in the chat. If you can put a number, putting showing the
Is
showing
this a
the
video
original.
or?
Yes, it shows a video, but if just link it to the original poster and it will be okay. This is crazy.
Oh,
Wow.
I think we already have a picture of that. Hold on. I got
Oh
you.
my.
Yeah, the U.S. Embassy has been crushed. This is pretty bad.
Oh my god, dude. This is aftermath footage where the refrigerator got dragged around.
Okay,
Send
so
it.
sorry.
Let me have a look.
Yeah, so we have a contributor now who is friends with some people that work in the embassy in Vanuatu. He says that his friend says that there's only 2 employees in the U.S. embassy. Such a big building for what? But their status is
Hi,
unknown.
bro.
Their status is unknown, so that's not a good thing.
Hopefully they weren't on the first floor.
Yeah. I'm trying to, so you guys are gonna have to understand where we're coming from. I'm gonna try to limit the pictures because not all of the pictures, but the pictures because um copyright will get on my bottom.
Yeah, we do have a we do try to use extreme caution in terms of copyright issues, but we
All right, folks. So
will...
this is the picture of the U.S. Embassy building, and you can clearly see, notably see, that the entire first floor and the columns supporting it collapsed. Oh, that's a big aftershock we're having.
Oh, let me see this.
Maybe like a 5 or high 4, low 5. I had just stopped looking at the station. But that's what the embassy looks like. First floor completely collapsed. So that is a bad thing to see. That's really
Oh
bad.
wow. You can see the P wave of the Japan earthquake arriving in Northern Europe right now. So,
dude, this aftershock's getting bigger.
The aftershock currently?
Yeah. Like it's getting bigger.
I don't see any detection currently going for that one.
If you look at my stream, you can see the seismographs.
Their systems.
You'll see the seismo.
Yeah, I can see the seismographs going off, but there's currently not enough data to actually make a calculation on it, unfortunately. So I believe
it's longer and shaking on it.
Here's another image. This is
once it reaches the other areas, it should detect.
I think this image is another building. This is a currency exchange. So I'm not sure this is another angle from the embassy, but on this picture,
No, it's a different.
Okay, so it is a different building, but on this picture,
it's kind of the same thing where the first floor collapsed. It's I think it looks like a parking structure, but I can't really tell.
Maybe
But
it's
there
a,
are like
maybe it's a,
cars trapped under there.
maybe it's like 2 floors or 3 floors. I'm not sure. There's a currency exchange, so I would assume that the uh building would be that the embassy would be nearby, but I could be like wrong. Um,
This is awful. Pancaking is the worst kind of damage possible in earthquakes. Um, wow.
Oh, this is footage of the earthquake. Oh my.
actually, I do wanna show just a closer image of the second story, and I just do want to note that this is the second story of the first building that we showed, the red and blue embassy building. Um,
Which is the American embassy
yeah, which is the
in
American embassy.
Vanuatu.
And by the way, the American embassy here, um, they also host New Zealand and French missions. So it's a shared building. So that's what the embassy there is for. I want to show because this is, it doesn't look that bad from a perspective, but when you realize that this is the first floor or this is the second floor on ground level, it's really bad. So here it is. Uh, that's the second floor of the embassy. The first floor has been squished under the second floor. So that is bad, like bad. That is the second floor.
Have you shown the landslide?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah,
already
we
did
might.
that.
Oh, let's have a look. I see a lot of people asking in the chat if the tsunami. So currently, from the last information we've heard, the last measured tsunami height was 1 meter. I do believe that the tsunami warning is been lifted. At this point, most tsunami waves will be already passed. People asking what time it struck. It appears that it struck the time of. I'll
About
get
noon?
that for you. About noon in Vanuatu. For its local time, it was 1 a.m. UTC. But yeah, around noon for Vanuatu is when this earthquake actually struck. So it was pretty devastating. Thankfully, nobody was sleeping. Most people weren't sleeping in their buildings, which, from what we know from the Turkey earthquake sequence that happened in 2023, when earthquakes do strike at night, when people are sleeping and unaware, they're more vulnerable being stuck in their beds with no places to run or having the delay of needing to wake up from the shaking to actually being able to protect themselves. It's best for earthquakes to happen during the day. And yes, for people wondering, it was a strike type earthquake. I'm guessing from what I'm seeing so far, it's a thrust type. It's not a exact thrust, like mega thrust type. It's more of a it's an interesting type. It's like a reverse oblique type thrust
Yeah.
earthquake, from what I'm seeing. So that being said, there is still a vertical component to it. So a tsunami was generated by this earthquake, but it has shown not to be of any danger, significant danger at least.
Again,
Compared to the
I just do want to show
landslide
again
risk.
this picture that you're looking at right now is the
Oh.
second floor. It's the second story on top of the first floor. Um, more pictures are being sent my way, so I'm looking at that. Getting those posted. Oh my God, these are bad. Like
Yeah,
this
this
is
is pretty
it's
bad.
bad.
real bad. It's really
By the
bad.
way, I do want to say, I could be wrong. I think that apart from Global Quake, we're the only channel that is live for this type of coverage, which is insane.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow. This is very bad. This is pancaking. They
So
seem to already be putting which images are you going to be showing?
it's the one with the car.
Put the one with the car, yeah.
I just want to show you just
It's
the true
bad.
tenacity. The true
Oh, you cropped
You
it
tenacity
can't.
weird.
You
of
cropped it weird. You cropped it weird. You'll have to adjust a
yeah.
bit lower.
Yeah, I just adjusted it. That's what
Okay,
the studio mode's on for.
go on.
This this picture this picture is shows, and this is a whole building that has collapsed under this truck. Now we don't know if there's been anybody. We don't know if there's anybody in that building.
Or
Hopefully
in that
not,
truck.
or in that truck. Hopefully not. But if there is, this is a really bad sign that you don't want to see this. This is a result of structural failure, and this is a result. I mean, look at that.
Yeah, this is typical building pancaking. Usually when there's a lot of horizontal movement, buildings, their main support structures collapse, leading to the roof completely crushing down. It's sad to see, and honestly, I'm glad to see though that the people in this image seem to be doing exactly what you're supposed to do. Put some reinforcements, the blocks you can see in the image. They're putting that to try and hold that roof up so that they can get rescue efforts in place. Hopefully, I pray that there's nobody in that truck, because if there is, it does not look very good for them.
Here's another picture. We're gonna crop it out. This is the picture of the rescue operations. I think the military has been called. Um, the military has been called for this. Um, this is another picture, and this shows a whole building that has collapsed, and people working to try to find people in there. Um, this is a really bad situation. We have gotten one person killed.
That's the
Oh
beginning.
my.
We have one person killed so far, but
As for the beginning, unfortunately, I believe this number is expected to rise.
yeah.
I'll check on the latest. I haven't heard much.
Yeah, so I'm trying to look for yeah, this is crazy. We
My
have
lord.
a lot of
I've
have-
got a earlier video from that truck, by the way, David, if you want to show that.
I'll watch it first. Send me the file itself. Don't send me the link.
Okay.
I'll
have
watch it
to-
first and see if I can show it.
It's in group discussion.
Wait, hold on. Have you showed the CCTV of the earthquake?
No.
Might want to show that. That is some pretty
Yeah, it's good
intense
footage.
Nathan, can you send me the file, not the link?
If somebody could download that and transfer the file.
Where's the CCTV footage? I'll just search it. CCTV. Oh. Oh, that's gonna be interesting. Will the video download? That's the question.
As of a few minutes ago, I'm not seeing anything referencing any additional deaths
Oh my god.
so far, at least. It is expected to rise, though, and I hope it does not. However,
Is that me? Was that me? Did everybody get quiet or?
No, it's. I'm looking for the footage here. I pinged you because I can't send it. Sounded to
Yeah,
me.
I'm just gonna go ahead and I have a video. I'm not sure if this is copyright struck, but whatever. I will show it.
Might as
Okay.
well.
Uh,
I will be right back.
Mm-hmm.
don't know why the
Damn.
video's not showing. Video's not showing for me. What the heck? Dude.
How many people?
Dude.
There's 758 watching.
This might be why.
Dude, these photos you put.
Oh no, yeah, it's bad.
The car.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, and they're trying to.
Hold on.
They're trying to
All right,
keep it
folks. I'm
up
gonna
still.
say this I'm gonna say this now as a warning. If you're not into all this, if you're not into shaking or whatever. No, this is TV. It's CCTV footage. You can't copyright CCTV.
Wow. You can see it's extremely violent.
Yeah, that starts off as like the
It's-
peak intensity.
Crazy. It's
Yeah.
loud. Oh my god.
Unfortunately, we forgot to mention a heads up for users with headphones.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it didn't
Yeah.
show. Like it didn't. Oh my. Like when I display the media file, it doesn't show on my end that there's audio. Like it doesn't show me the audio.
Oh. But yeah, but that just goes to show you that this is violent. Like this is MMI what 9, 8, 9. Put it's
Yeah, pretty much.
like that initial jolt. In the video is just. So yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. Is like I'm not surprised that we're
Aftershock.
seeing buildings collapse. Is there?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The seismos are going off.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, I had no. OBS did not let me know there was audio playing from there.
Alright, well, you don't gotta worry with this one. 'Cause
I would
this one's not.
say probably replay a few more videos to show because this
Yeah,
is
this one's better
incredible.
because it's not all loud and everything.
This is aftermath.
Let me
Whoa.
actually play this
Yeah.
audio.
Yeah, I know, it's
Wait.
crazy.
Is that the whole entire like?
Dude, the fridge got like
Like, why does it?
That's
Wow.
thrown
Wow.
around.
Okay,
And the
I've
whole
rounded
like
it.
that thing
It's
weighs like a
aftermath,
couple hundred
by
pounds.
the way,
Yeah.
guys. That's aftermath. Footage. Everything's on the floor.
in the area.
Thrown on
Hey,
the floor.
David, are you showing it?
Yes. No. Sorry. I'm gonna limit videos because I'm struggling to download these with my
Yeah.
PC trying to
Probably for the
opening
better
all type
too.
of stuff.
'Cause
Yeah.
just copyright.
Do I?
Yeah.
I tried.
Oh, I've just received a extended version of the CCTV footage you just sent, showing the before shaking.
Ooh, wait, send that. I need to.
Yeah, I
Oh.
see it.
Wrong send. It's
Yeah,
going
I'm
to
not
be
gonna
if
show
you can
that
get
'cause my
that up.
PC can't handle that. Like it's
You cannot. It's
Yeah,
only
you
50
cannot.
some megabytes.
Just send it to me anyways.
no. It's not that it can't handle it. It's
in
that
the
it
group
can't.
chat.
It's not that it can't handle.
Oh,
The
it's-
stream can't handle opening multiple like applications at once.
Thank
I
you.
already have 5 applications open.
Wow.
Oh my
Wow. I will return.
Wait,
That's such
Oh, never
such a change.
dude.
Like it's a cut.
I think there's a cut. There's a cut.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could see the dude struggling to stand in it. This is why, like, you don't run in earthquakes like this.
Oh no, it's just
Unless, like, you, like, 100% need to. Like, there's nothing you can get under.
oh no, this is not extended. It's just cut weird.
Yeah, it's cut.
Yeah, it's just cut.
Yeah, it's cut by like 40 seconds. That's crazy.
I mean, it would
Crazy
probably
work.
cut by just, like,
No, I think the beginning was
Eh.
already cut because the garage looked terrible
No,
already.
but it started at like 17 seconds into the minute, and it cuts to like 40 seconds.
and it's insane to think it still lasts that long afterwards, and there's a cut there. Like, this is huge, obviously, but
Yeah, and to think that's probably not even the hardest hit area. It's like, oh my god.
yeah, exactly. Like I was saying earlier, I was like, even if this hit, like, say, like a very developed location, like,
Yeah, there would still be damage. Oh.
it'd still be pretty bad damage.
Oh my.
Well, we've been at it for about 2 hours and 30 minutes. We're gonna take a quick break. Our contributors have earned it. Well, they deserve it. We will be right back in about 3 minutes. Stand by.
Oh my gosh, this photo. Yeah, there's
This is a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela, reporting an earthquake in Vanuatu. We do want to bring you an update. We do want to bring you an update to a current situation that is taking place in New Zealand. We have just gotten a magnitude 5.1 or 4.9 in New Zealand, dead on New Zealand, and we have just gotten that report coming in from Global Quake, and you can see those seismographs have gone all over the place in New Zealand. So there it is. Earthquake has struck in New Zealand. Let me just quickly reintroduce myself. My name is David Vela here, located at Disaster Central headquarters in Houston, Texas. I am joined by a few. I'm joined by a team of people here. Arctic from Houston, Beaton from Los Angeles, Roman from El Paso, and Shad from I forgot where you're from.
Aaron.
Taryn from
Yeah.
Singapore, I think.
You think?
You think?
I haven't seen like half of these people in like in weeks or months.
So, Taryn, do you want to say the breaking news right now of what just came out?
What just came out? Oh, the finite fault model?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think the USG has just released their preliminary finite fault model. David, if you can just, I don't know if it's copyright. I don't think it's copyrighted because USGS is public
No,
domain.
it's government.
Anyways, it appears to be rupture on a very shallow plane
Can you send me the?
predominantly strike slip motion.
Someone send in the group discussion.
Okay, let me just it's in the chat. With a maximum slip of about 3 meters, most of it occurred around the epicenter. And it's mostly offshore, so fortunately the city is not directly on top of it, so shaking is not as bad as it would have been if it was directly above it. Yeah.
Hold on, I'm trying to pull it up. Here we go.
Also,
there we go. There it is. That's what you're looking at. This is what Taryn is talking about. Can you explain this graph to those who don't know what this graph is again? Sorry, it took quite a while.
I can't really see which one you're talking about, but is it the one with that
distance
purple
along
patch
strike
thing?
Yeah.
Distance along strike. Okay,
It's the
that's
rupture
basically
front contour plotted every 10 seconds.
The contour plots are basically the rupture as it progresses with contours of 10 seconds sequences. So it appears most of the rupture was completed just over 10 seconds of the earthquake occurring. That's how I interpret it. It appears to have broken about let me just take a look. So the earthquake occurred at about 57 kilometers, which is quite consistent with the graph here. So if you take a look on the right, on the column on the right, it has the depth. Most of the rupture is about 50 to 65 kilometers depth. So it's pretty shallow, but it's not too shallow, as opposed to like if you were talking about a crustal earthquake. This occurred within the subducting slab instead of on the subduction zone itself. And it appears to have broken about. Let me just take a look.
By the way, after
about 40 by 40 kilometers of the fault plane over a really like an elliptical patch. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to quickly point out, by the way, I want to say now that we will be ending the stream at about 13-ish minutes. There's too many people here that are taking finals, and we are not trying to limit their education based on this stream. So apologies for that, but I think it's best for our contributors to do well in class. So apologies. Um, so this is the same map. So we just talked about the same map, but now it's visualized with the map of the epicenter strike zone. So this you can see here is the map of the strike zone, and then you can see the purple is the more likely indicator of where it struck, and the farther the spread goes, or this is the rupture. So this is the length of the rupture. The farther it goes, the less bigger the rupture was. So that's that. Um, yeah. I guess we're gonna take this time to answer your final questions, comments, concerns. Make sure you tag at Disaster Central, so we can answer those questions. But for now, this is gonna be pretty much, I think it soon. I'm not sure. Um, we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait.
Yeah, so where in New Zealand was that quake? Okay, the quake in New Zealand happened like on the other side of the strait near like Wellington. I think this was near like yeah, it was like within Cook Strait, like Cook Strait, New Zealand. So
Where's the closer
what is
epicenter?
right now? Let me see what if USGS has posted anything about it so far because Global Quake says 4.9.
USGS
and yeah, so yeah, everything is safe though in New Zealand from what we know right now. It's not really this is not a fairly large quake, especially for this area. Like there's been larger quakes in the past. And
what follows just after.
hold on.
I beat on you cut out. Can you say that again?
Okay, I said what follows will be aftershocks and just more damage updates.
Yeah. Yeah, so to answer that question, and what he said, to reiterate what he said, yeah, we don't expect volcanic activity to form out of this. So, in terms of volcanoes, ish, you should be good. But expect a lot of aftershocks, especially in the coming 48 hours. So, yeah. Uh, about 9 minutes till we end the stream. Make sure you subscribe, turn on the bell notifications, like the video or the stream. Our team has been working for 3 hours behind the scenes trying to pull us as much information as we possibly can. Images, pictures, news stories, etc. So their support means a lot towards us. They've also been moderating the chat, answering questions in the chat. So yeah, please subscribe, subscribe to the channel, like the video. We have a lot more projects coming up this for the rest of this year. We have some big things coming up next year that are planned next year, and we can't wait to show you them. So if you want to stay for that, subscribe. And again, apologies if our coverage has been a little bit chaotic. I had just come from studying and I had to stop studying, and I've been doing this, so I've been trying to organize things. So apologies for that. Uh, hopefully you guys think we did a good job. But I felt like the team has done a really amazing job keeping professionalism. Archinia asks, what about the earthquake in Japan? There was an earthquake in Japan. I think there was a 5.0 in Japan. But that hasn't done anything. It was pretty deep. So because it was deep, it wasn't felt that much. So don't worry about that. Don't be worried about it.
It was just light shaking. It's all right.
Yeah. it was like very likely light shaking.
There's new video of a collapse. Mike says.
Oh,
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 just purely
Okay, I don't know if the
because
coverage has ended,
it's
but
another
no,
pancake.
it's not that it ended, but I don't want to show what probably is videos of people dying.
Oh yeah, that's another one of those
I don't
collapses.
want to show that. So sorry, folks, we're not gonna show that.
Yeah, too graphic.
It might be too graphic. Yeah, that is
okay,
bad.
it's
Oh
God,
my
that's
goodness, that is
really bad.
bad.
the first floor.
Yeah, it's
The first
oh,
floor.
So the video shows a building with the first floor looks to be completely collapsed, like flat.
If you want an example of
like
what that looks like, hold on. I have the picture of the embassy.
it has 4
Um,
floors
This is
above it,
very
pancake top of.
1989.
Oh my God.
Yeah, 4 floor. Yeah, 3 other floors of weight. All that weight, just man.
let me show you this. Think of this picture, which is the embassy, and imagine it on a building that's taller. So that's it. That's what the video includes. Not that that's it. It's really bad. Actually, I think this might be one of the worst videos I've seen so far. So, um, yeah, but yeah, this is a very bad sign. And if that's the trend that we're gonna have with these damage reports and fatalities, then fatalities are probably gonna shoot up. Because just think about it like this: there could have been people running to evacuate from the building, and that happened.
Wait, hold on. The USGS just updated their finite fault. They've gone with the latter solution of a very steep thrust fault or normal fault.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Oh yeah.
So
Oh, damn.
when you release a focal mechanism, there are two solutions. The beach ball. There are two possible fault planes, and so one of them was a very shallow normal fault, almost strike slip, and the other is a really steep normal fault or thrust. I can't really tell the difference because it's so almost vertical in its dip direction. So it appears they are preferring this model, this very steep model, as opposed to the really shallow one. Yeah, and the rupture appears to extend almost towards the island. So
Yeah, that is
yeah,
bad.
well, we'll see because things change.
I do want to just tell the viewers that uh hopefully you guys enjoyed our coverage because we're gonna be ending this in about 5 minutes. So we're gonna take these 5 minutes to give our team some closing thoughts. Starting off with the people that have been here the longest. Arctic and Roman. So Arctic first. You want to give any closing thoughts?
No.
Okay.
This is a bit worse than I thought it would actually be, but let's pray for I guess the best case scenario out of this, but unfortunately it's looking bad. But anyways, on to you.
No. Beat on. Any closing thoughts?
Eyes hurt.
Oh, okay. Tara, any closing thoughts, remarks about this earthquake or?
Well, keep an eye out on any updates. Stay safe if you're out there. Look out for aftershocks. Yeah, and if you can help them, if there's any donation drive, try and help them, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess it's my turn now. I just want to say that um, to the people that are watching this special report, if you're in Vanuatu, our thoughts and prayers, and I think we can say this for all of our team. I think I can speak for all the team. Uh, our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in Vanuatu today. Um, we hope that the fatality count doesn't go up. It's already at 1, but we hope that it doesn't become as bad as what we're suspecting it's going to be. To the chat, thank you all for watching. It's been a great run. Um, and to the team, I want to thank everybody in the team for participating. This has been a Disaster Central special report. My name is David Vela. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon. Good night.
Later.
Hey, so